Hello and welcome to Exposition, a show that features artists from the Southeast Ohio region. I'm here with Valerie Thomas, my
Hello.
co-host here. And today we are featuring Jessica Malone of Requiem and Revelry Photography.
Yay! That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, what's been happening in your world in the past month since we were on last?
Well, I have to thank you and your beautiful wife for wearing your kilts to the Irish St. Patrick's Day Cultural Parade, and everybody who came out to support us and participate in the parade. It was a lot of fun, and we hope it grows every year and maybe include a festival next year.
Yeah.
But thank you for wearing your kilt. You were spectacular.
Thanks. It was a breezy day.
It was a breezy day.
I don't know if you were behind my wife in the parade.
I was.
You noticed it was getting breezy on her?
It was breezy.
So her
Yes,
little kilt was in
she worked with it. She worked that kilt. She did. It was fun. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jess.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about background.
I am from Oak Hill, Ohio. Born and raised, kind of traveled here and there in between. Went to Rio Grande, currently teach at Rio Grande. Yeah.
So you went here for college?
Yes, that's right.
What was your major?
At Rio, I majored in communication and public relations, and then I went on to study a little bit of humanities at Tiffin University, and then I came back and did my Master's of Education in Integrated Arts here at Rio Grande. So
nice.
yeah, and
That's excellent.
just completed that. So
Okay, and you're teaching what now?
speech communication.
Speech.
Yeah, here.
Okay. So you gotta knock this out of the ballpark.
I hope so. My students would be very disappointed if I don't.
So you'll be showing this to everyone, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
All right. So your I don't know if your first line of business would be photography.
I would like to think so. Yeah, teaching is more of a side job right now. I would like to get more into the instruction part. I already do a lot of workshops, both in person, online. Mentoring and that kind of thing.
What kind of workshops?
Photography workshops.
Okay.
Anything from basic mechanics of a camera to more how to design like a conceptual shoot and how to communicate what you want with your model and what you want out of the set and get them to work together.
Yeah, sometimes that's somewhat hard.
You're a
shoot
photographer,
picture and stuff, but,
so you guys know what you're talking about.
The mechanics is, to me, easier than trying to get the person, especially if they're self-conscious or something.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, they tend to get a
just
little
don't-
stiff on you. Which I think where my background in communication and public relation and studying to become a better speech teacher has really helped me in the art world, because it's allowing me to be able to better communicate my idea to my model. I do work with a lot of professional models, but I also work with a lot of girls that's never been in front of the camera before. And those are some of my favorite because there's no bad habits to break. You kind of can work with them, and part of that really is making them feel comfortable with you and getting them to do what you want to do. And it's a mindset, really, instead of just posing someone. You have to get them in the right frame of mind. So I think the communication background really helps out on that. They work hand in hand.
You shoot any guys?
I do, but it's actually very rare, especially in the model world. I have a couple, but it's mostly females. Any of the guy work I do is senior pictures or weddings and that sort of thing.
Because personally, I know shooting women is a lot easier. The range of
That's interesting.
pose, the range of poses you can do with girls are endless.
Right.
A guy, you have a few power poses, crossing your arms, putting your hands on your hips, and you're done.
Right, yeah, they are a little trickier, especially in conceptual work, because girls tend to adapt to that more.
And the girls can do more dramatic things.
Yeah, and they can also lean more towards the androgynous, which guys can do that too, and you know, like playing with those blurred lines a little bit. A lot of my style is kind of flowy and dreamy, and I like to kind of create my own
A little
worlds.
grungy too, I think.
Yeah, I like a little bit of grunge to it. I
love it.
can't.
Because what, you grew up in the '90s? Is that
Yeah, I am a product of the '90s. I love the '90s, so I don't think you can ever quite get rid of that.
I love
So-
your style. It's
Thank
just
you.
amazing.
Thank you so
It's
So how did you
beautiful.
come about your style?
Oh, I don't know, a total accident actually. I took photography here. It's kind of a funny story. I took digital photography here as an elective just to graduate, and I barely passed. I passed with a C, and I had to talk my wonderful professor into it just because I didn't have a lot of time to devote to it. And I was just like, why do I you know, come on, just let me graduate. I'll never need to know this information. And 3 months later, I got booked for my first wedding. And
Why did they
Wow.
book you for a wedding?
to this day, I have no idea why they took a chance on me. And I
Huh.
explained to them, I was mostly shooting animals, landscape scenes, a typical kind of what you shoot when you first start out.
Right.
And she just contacted me and she said, I want you to do my wedding. And I say, you know, this is a big deal, and I haven't shot people before, and and she's like, no, we have faith in you. You should do it. And I said, let me do an engagement shoot, on donation, because I had no idea how
Get
this
warmed up a
yeah,
little bit.
and if you like what I do, then we'll continue on to the wedding.
Right.
And that was my first gig, and it just kind of
awesome.
fell. And another thing, I didn't really pay attention to too many rules, where I was never an art major. I've
That's
never.
where I think that's what you call
Stifling.
stifling is, and that goes for any field. Whether you're troubleshooting things or building something new. If you've been told how to do it, there's a whole lot of closed roads.
Right.
You
The-
stay in the box.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. A lot of the coolest things that I do or that I think I do are things that really are apparent in my style have started out by complete accidents and happy mistakes. So
Right. A lot of my good pictures are just, wow, I did that. Cool.
yeah, I recently just learned a new editing trick with skin, and I thought I'd messed the whole picture up because I did it backwards on accident. I layered everything, and it turned out to be better, and I've gotten more compliments on the color and the smoothness and everything than any other photo. And it was a total, so I'm like, oh, this is how I'm going to do it from now
Yeah.
on. So, yeah, I mean, you just play around, you find your own style, you learn a little bit of the rules, and then you just learn to break them. So that's just kind of how I work, I guess.
Your images they're like ethereal and
Thank you.
kind of ghostly.
I
And
I like to have
that.
the lightness with a little bit of dark. I like the edge
Yes.
of darkness to it. I feel like that's how I view the world anyway.
And
So
you had an interesting shoot just a couple weeks ago too.
ooh,
yeah, I got to shoot.
Speaking
at,
of darkness,
yes,
Oh,
yes, I got to
ooh.
shoot at Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio.
that's like a prison.
It's a shutdown. It's a rundown prison. I forget when they shut it down, but it's actually where the film Shawshank Redemption
yes.
was shot at, and there's a lot of extras and props and stuff that they had in the movie, so it's really cool. But it's this huge prison, and you get the run of it for a whole day, and it's photographers. We had everybody from Wisconsin to Boston come in,
Wow.
makeup artists, hairstylists, models.
Were they all doing the same sort of stuff you were doing, or what do you think?
Some of us have similar styles, but we all have our own kind of uniqueness.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it would draw a certain type of person.
It does. Some people find it harder. They come in and they don't quite have experience in working with that, like the darkness and the natural light that's coming through the windows, and kind of the feel that you get from the building and the atmosphere, it just in itself. And then they're trying to do looks a little bit more editorial like, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you can tell people who it might be their first year there and they don't quite have a feel for the place, and then but we like to bring in a variety. Just if you're an established artist, we'll bring you in. If you're an established model, we don't really like people that you've got to kind of babysit all
Right.
day.
Well, you're paying for the time, and
Right.
you want
Yes.
a sure thing.
We pay for our time, and then we pay for all of our models and assistants and makeup artists to come in. So it's a great place to network and just have fun. It's a lot of fun because we're all kind of thrown in together, and
That is so cool.
yeah, it's really great, and to meet a lot of people that you just follow online.
You're a natural at those kind of photographs. You're just amazing.
Thank you. Well, it's the darkness. I never had expensive light equipment, so I just learned to use what I had. So
That's wonderful.
kinda-
Amazing.
thank you.
So, I've seen your images and stuff. Do you sell those, or
I
is that
do.
what pays the bills, or is it more the event stuff?
A little of both. Sometimes I luck out and I'll have a gallery show and I'll sell quite a few pieces. Sometimes, people request things online. Right now I've started doing commissioned artwork for people, so that's kind of taken off. Like they might tell me they like purple lilies or lilacs or something, I don't know, and then I do something that works
They're
with
more
them.
of a commission thing.
Yeah, and so I had a lot of fun doing that, but probably the event stuff, weddings.
Right.
Yeah, weddings are always fun to do, so.
Yeah, a lot of photographers I know don't like doing them. It's a lot of pressure.
It is pressure. There's no do-overs.
Right.
You have to be able to do it, there, and you can't recreate the event. I mean, some things you can, but not everything.
And then you're always given things that are not, maybe below subpar.
Well, it's
Yeah.
always chaotic. Even the most well-organized wedding will run at least 20 minutes late at all times. So it's a circus, but you learn to work with that, and I kind of like it. I kind of thrive on that. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I've had fun doing it.
Why don't we take a look at a few images?
Oh,
Okay.
can't wait.
Okay. Well, I guess I got lit. I put our production guy in a bad place.
Oh, careful now. Careful.
I guess there's a question. Does the and this is a pet peeve,
Okay.
of course. Does the camera that costs the most make the best pictures?
Absolutely not. No, hands down, no.
Because that's one thing that a photographer hates to hear. Oh, that's a really nice picture. What kind of camera do you have?
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. I actually made it a point. I started out with cheaper equipment. I shoot Nikon across the board. I actually learned on a Canon, but I've fell in love with Nikon, and
Yeah.
that's.
I'm a weirdo. I'm Olympus, but
Oh no, actually one of my favorite photographers and one of my best friends, and we work together a lot. A colleague of mine, he's an Olympus, and he takes amazing work, and he's all about Olympus. So. But yeah, I started out with a really low-end Nikon, and I told myself I wasn't going to upgrade until I could understand why I needed the upgrade. What did this camera do? What did all these bells and whistles do? If I didn't understand how to utilize them correctly, or at least in my style, I felt no need to upgrade. And I think that when people start out with a limited amount of equipment, it helps define their style because they learn to work around their limitations. A lot of people think that to do art you shouldn't have limitations, but I kind of think limitations make you a better artist.
because you're trying to get past them.
You have to
Well,
improvise.
Yeah, one of the books I really like is Rollo May's The Courage to Create, and he really goes in depth about how limitations can help improve your artwork, because by learning to overcome them, you kind of define your own style in certain ways. Whereas if you would have started with a more expensive camera or equipment, you wouldn't have to overcome them because it's there, it's all built in. You have a fancy flash or a really dynamic ISO or something, and you don't need to learn to shoot really slow shutter speeds or learn to play around with unusual settings because it does it for you.
Right.
So no, I totally.
I think a good photographer could take a good picture with a cell phone.
I agree. I know several photographers who the iPhoneography is taking off, and they're.
And it would be interesting to shoot.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to
I just got it.
experiment and shoot a wedding with an iPhone.
Actually, at the
I think it's been done, but
probably actually on the back cover of this issue of Vogue is shot with an iPhone 6, and it even says iPhone 6. And at Ohio State Reformatory, we have one artist who comes in with just her iPhone
Wow.
and shoots at the reformatory, and that's a really big shoot every year for everybody. So no, I'm terrible at taking iPhone pictures. I'm absolutely terrible at it. People have me do it, and it never looks good. So
now, do you bring with a wedding? Do you bring that style to the wedding, or can you make it more the style that they want? Or do they hire you for that?
I try to get them to hire me for that because I feel like photographers are a dime a dozen, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but
No, there's a lot of people in the field.
there is. It's a very oversaturated field, and I heard this quote one time, and I thought it was really great, and it was, why go through KFC to order a Big Mac? And, you know, why go to another photographer when you want them to shoot like somebody else? So I prefer somebody to come to me because they want how I shoot.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I do have kind of a range of stuff that I do, from a little bit more conceptual and darker work to a little bit lighter and more traditional. So I like to spend a lot of time talking with them beforehand and showing them examples, pictures worth 1,000 words. So
Right.
I usually just lay out some pictures for them, be like, show me your favorites, and that gives me a good idea of what they want, and I go from there. So a
A
little
lot
of
of people
both.
will go to Pinterest and say, this is the kind of stuff I like.
I actually don't mind that because I can see when I see, you know, they've got a lot of sun rays and, you know, those the solar flares coming in, and it's real warm, and you can tell it's shot at sunset, and it's just got that feeling. When I see a lot of those reoccurring on their Pinterest board, it's like, I know what you want. I know the feeling that you want out of the photograph, so maybe
Right.
I
So
might.
why is your wedding at noon?
Well, that's a great question. Yes, that's I ask
It
that
should
sometimes.
be the golden hour somewhere.
Ideally, yes, but that's rarely the case. So they give you limitations to work
Right.
around. But no, I think I like the Pinterest idea because it does it. I never try to replicate exactly something that's already
Sure.
been done, but it gives me an idea of what they want and
Some
what kind of feeling they're
inspirations.
going for. Yeah, inspiration.
Another question. Why should a person who is getting married use a professional photographer rather than having a family member to do it to keep the cost down?
I love this question.
And
well,
I do too. It affects me. I'm a video.
Yes.
Photography is a second line for me, but videography is my main thing. I'm mainly a video producer.
Right, which we've worked together
Right.
on several
So it's the
venues.
same kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So-
No, I think they should do it because it makes no sense to me. The whole scheme. You pay thousands of dollars for a dress. You pay how much money? You know, X amount of dollars for your cake, and there's flowers, and there's all these details, and it's not just any cake. It's your cake, and you've paid this much money because you want specific things done, and you want these decorations, and you want this particular venue, and oh, the girls will go crazy picking out all these details, and they're very costly details because it's a personalization. And the next day when the wedding's over, usually, and I'm sure you know from working in that field, it's very hectic. The bride and groom, they'll tell you that the day goes by so fast. They don't remember anything. And all they have is what we give them
Right.
at the end of it. The cake's gone. They'll never put the wedding dress back on if they preserve it or do some, you know. The guests are gone, the food is eaten, and the only thing they have left is what we provide them. So we really give them forever. It's not, you know, the dress, it's not. So if you're going to expend that much on all these other details, I find it kind of crazy that
Right.
you wouldn't be able to match that
And
by
I
hiring
think
a professional
everybody
photographer.
understands probably about the photography thing, but I think my video part is a little bit more of the icing on the cake that gets cut out. And they don't understand until after it happens, man, it would have been nice to have that recorded.
Yeah.
Because the best man gave this great speech, or, you know, Aunt Flo was on top of the table, and it would have been a great thing to have.
I had a groom catch on fire once.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been a great videographer.
God.
The videographer actually, he punched the guy's suit out to put the fire.
Yeah. The only thing I think I've gotten that was really not right was the head table at the reception.
Yes.
They came in, they had these columns and a arch all filled up with ferns. So the couple come in, and then everybody else files in, and then the flower girl comes in, squeezes between them, and the whole arch and everything comes down on top of them.
No. And you got that
Yeah, I
all
got it.
videotaped? Oh my God.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's when you want a videographer for
Right.
stuff like that. Like, so.
Okay,
That's
we've got
crazy. Oh.
10 minutes. Why don't we go to some photos and you
Yes.
can describe.
All right.
Wow.
This is one that I recently shot. She's a professional model out of Columbus, and we were kind of doing it started out as a boudoir shoot, but we kind of went with like a feminine nature, kind of wild and softly feral kind of shoot. So it was a lot of fun. I love the feminism that's in the feminine spirit that comes out with the weeds and the nature and just her movement and the hair. So
It's like billowy.
yeah, a lot of my photos I like to add movement to. I like to make sure that you see it. Oh, this
is one of our good friends.
Yes, this is she's one of my favorite models to work with. This is actually I've been putting together a series about Persephone, one of the goddesses in Greek mythology, and she plays Persephone, and this is actually in the springtime when Persephone comes out of Hades. She's released from the underworld, and therefore brings spring and life back to the planet. Well, her mom's so happy, Diana, and or Demeter, I'm sorry, lets, things start growing again. So this is, and then you see like the darkness in behind, so that's kind of like supposed to, represent she's kind of crawling out of Hades, and she's fresh out back on the world. Spring's just started.
I've always been interested in doing stylized stuff like that, but,
Then you need to do it.
Where do you get like costuming and all that? Do you make it or?
I make a lot of it. Actually, that was just a simple shear. I buy yards of shears and we pin them together and hook elastic.
Improvise.
The headpiece she had in the last shot, I made right there on the set. I just grabbed some twigs and started weaving them together and shoving grass and
That's perfect.
all kinds of stuff. So a lot of stuff we use is right there. Now that's actually the model's outfit. It was a happy coincidence that she had an outfit the same color as my shear. So
oh yeah.
I encourage them to bring stuff, and the girls I work with frequently kind of know my style, and they find cool outfits, and hey, I've got this. Let's brainstorm, and
right.
that's
I
how.
wasn't sure if you went to a costume company or what.
No, actually, my mother finds me most of my stuff, and there are a lot of my grandma's hand-me-downs. I have some of Jewel Evans' old hats that I like to use in some shoots. So
that's cool.
I have people now bring me stuff, so it's kind of nice.
What else we have there? There we go.
Oh, this is one of my other favorite models, Ellie. She's out of Dayton. This is a composition. I've been doing more composites lately, and it just she's actually sitting on her sofa there, and there's pictures behind her, and we created that, and that's Mother Nyx, who brings life back to old bones.
So where do you dig up the bones?
She actually had them. It was her husband's. They found them. She had a box of bones on her porch. So I said, "Hey, let's use these bones."
Was that something that was planned?
No, actually, this was I went to Dayton to visit her, and we were just having some fun. And she's a photographer as well. She's an artist and as well as a model. So those are some of my favorite people to work with because we're really on the same page when we talk about concepts. So
okay.
This is a burlesque troupe that works out of Athens, Moonstruck Burlesque, and they're a dance team, and they also perform individually. So we had a lot of fun with those girls.
Did you do that for art, or did you do that for commission?
No, it's just art. Really, it started. One of the girls there I work with kind of regularly, and she wanted to bring her dance team in, and one of my colleagues from Columbus came in, and we just kind of did it for fun. But this was actually published in Gothesque magazine.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they hired you to get them stuff to put on their site or
No, they didn't get. That's actually at OSR too. That's
at the Mansfield Reformatory?
Yes, that's in solitary confinement, one of the creepiest places in the whole building.
That is so amazing.
That was also published out of Gothesque. She's from Cleveland. She's really amazing, and that was one of her first times modeling as well.
Did you get spooked out there?
No, in solitary I did a little bit. I got a little bit of vertigo, and then when I left, it went away.
Any ghostly presences you could, like a cold wind or something?
No, I did get a little weird feeling in, like I said, solitary, and we did catch one kind of mysterious flare that across the picture that it could be anything, but we did have a lot of professional photographers who were there on site, and they were all passing my camera around and looking at it and trying to pinpoint where this light was coming from, and they couldn't do it. So that's
okay. Let's go back to that last picture you had up there. Okay.
Oh, this one.
Just simple window shot.
Yeah.
Kind of.
This was her first time modeling. She's actually an assistant It was my last shoot of the day, and my model left early, and I didn't know because it's such a crazy, and that was somebody's assistant. And I had 10 minutes to go scout a location. I gave her the dress. We found her a wig, and her sister's a makeup artist.
Wow.
So, and this is actually the scene in the movie Brooks's apartment in Shawshank Redemption. That's in the prison, and that's actually shot in Brooks's apartment. And it's got the Brooks was here, and so it was red. If you know that scene in the film,
yes.
so that's where that was shot. Yeah. So that was just a spur of the moment, kind of like, here's a dress, wig, let's go. And so, and that's also her. And like I said, some of the best things are just, let's go down here and have some fun. And her again also.
So I guess
We just kinda
photography for models is very stressful.
No, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
So the
Not
running
with
makeup.
me. Not with me. They tend to have fun with me. I make them dance, and I make them do all kinds of crazy stuff that you wouldn't think on a photography shoot. Almost all my models dance for me, so I get these nice flowy movement shots. So I don't know. I try to make them comfortable. So.
Okay.
Very nice.
So your business name is Requiem and Revelry.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I like, first of all, I love the word requiem.
You like the
and
movie Requiem for a Dream?
I do, but it really wasn't based off that at all,
Okay.
and I was afraid that like people would associate with that. But
That's
really,
a disturbing movie.
it is. Yes, it's
I
very
won't say it.
disturbing.
I won't.
It's the most depressing film I've ever seen.
Yeah,
No.
if you want to be in a really bad mood, then watch that movie. But it's pretty crazy. No, it's just the definition of requiem is a song. It's actually a musical term, and it's a song written to celebrate or to mourn the death of something. So it does have a darker connotation to it, or death of a person, and they would play it at funerals. And then we added Revelry because Revelry is a celebration of life, and I really feel that my photography does have the edge of darkness along with the light, and I think that really describes, those two words work together to describe photography in itself, because every minute that goes by, you don't get back. I mean, time is your most precious commodity. So in a sense, every moment does die, and what we do in my field is preserve it and celebrate it forever. So that's really where Requiem and Revelry came about.
Do we have the lower third that gives her address and stuff? Oh, okay. I missed that. There we go.
Yeah.
Your Facebook page, jessica.malone.photography. And you can check out some of your work. Is all your work there?
Most of
Or is
it,
it scattered about other places?
Well, I do have, the website is requiemandrevelry.com, and you can find most of my work more in a cohesive manner there. I try to just do some sneak peeks on Facebook and not put everything out there. The bulk of my work is on my website.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you to get some work done,
Yes.
how would you do that?
A lot of people call me. They email me, requiemandrevelry@gmail. You can go to the website, and there's contact forms. People Facebook me.
Your phone number for contact reasons?
Oh, my
would
phone
be-
number is 614-816-0462. People text me, call me. I mean, I'm pretty informal about the communication thing. Whatever works best for everybody,
And what area
works.
would you work in? Just Southeast Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky?
Oh
or-
no, I travel all over the place. I work a lot in Columbus. I have a wedding company up there that we do a lot of work there. I shoot a lot down here. I love to travel. Tennessee, North Carolina. Really, I like to go. If I have a model or photographer friend down there that I want to go see, we'll travel around. But I'm open for travel.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to send me somewhere
Absolutely.
cool, more power to you. Call me, yes. Ireland, I'll strike you a really good deal.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, yes.
Yes, just pay for my
I'll work for
ticket
free.
and we'll work for free. Yes.
Take me along,
So,
I'll do the video.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll be your friend.
Absolutely. You can be my assistant. We'll bring you on as assistant, yes. We'll just all travel together. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yay!
Well, thanks for coming on Exposition.
Thank
been
you
been
for
really
having
great.
me. Thank you.
Nice seeing your work.
Thank you.
And
yes.
So excited to have you here.
Thank you.
not sure who we've got on next time, but in a half an hour, we'll have the Provost and Sam Wilson on talking about Civil War history, I think. So thanks for watching Exposition, and see you next month on the second Wednesday.